A long time no see. Actually, I'm not in New York. I'm in Arizona, is on the southwest U.S. It's like very dry, and it's a lot of desert area. Not too much plantation. Very dry, and I see a lot of unique plants. So it's like we went to Dubai. I went to sand dune here. It's nothing, just sand. So it's I remind as we went to the Dubai last time. So it's the same idea. I haven't seen Dr. Mbugo for a while. Happy New Year, Dr. Mbugo.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Madam Rainey.
Happy New Year to you.
And actually, recently, I got some WhatsApp. I don't check WhatsApp. And this time I checked, and one friend from, I don't know which country, is Africa. And it seems like we have been talking about the fertilizer for a long time. Still have something people got confused. So what I spent a lot of time to explain to him. He finally kind of clear, but his question is like actually it's common. Yeah, I think it's very. You need to let me share my screen.
Oh, I'm sorry for that. This is my fault. I forget.
No.
I'm so excited to see you. So I forget to set you as a co-host. Okay, now you're the co-host, and you can start sharing your screen.
Okay. Now I see. Where is my file? That's right. Well, first he was asking me, what's the problem with these coins? And he also has, this is from his friend. He sells the fertilizer to the guy, and he has an issue. And this is his own coin. This is his tobacco. I don't know if it is him, but so several questions. So for this, I want to get this opportunity as a new year. Also, we started. We want to make a kind of like a summarize of NOPF compared to the conventional fertilizer, compared to the pesticides. So a lot of basic questions you may get when you talk to your farmers, when you talk to your distributors. So it's easy, just say, well, that's good. So what actual difference? Most of us, we have some idea. We talk about everything, and we still sometimes, can I just replace conventional fertilizer, use NOPF, just only use NOPF? So this is kind of like issues I have note down, like 6, 7, 8 questions. First, let's look at this. Why I have the one? Okay, this is also okay. This is also one of the pictures we had in the past. So like this one, this is a, let me see if I can remove that. I just look at this. So this field, when you see what the symptom looks like that. So when you're a farmer, ask, okay, come to my field. Compared to this one, this is like a uniformed yellow. it's clearly saying, like I said, you don't have enough nitrogen in the soil. It's not that bad, but it's either not enough nitrogen in the soil or on the plants. You see this corner on the left, close to you, on the left here, a little bit darker, and in the middle, much yellower. This is one of the issues when you make the spray concentration solution in the tank. Sometimes it looks like you have a problem. Either you missed some place you didn't spray, or like here, you spray first and you get a high concentration, and some place you get a lower concentration. So what's the problem? So sometimes you mix the tank. If this tank, we have a 20 liters tank. So you open the cap, you put the water in it. Don't put an OPF to the empty tank. You add a half tank of the water, then you put an OPF in the tank, then shake it. Let them mix, then add the rest of the water to the 20 liters total. Then you shake it. The easy way to shake is convert this way. You don't need to shake it a lot, but if you do that, first the time, when you have a tank time, shake is most important that way. Then you invert it several times. Then you add it up. When you add when you fill the water with the full level, it's hard to mix anymore because the water is so full. Even you invert it, it's still cannot mix. That's why you add fertilizer and OPF in when you have a half tank. When you have a tank is the best time to invert. So this is the issue. When you make it well mixed, then you will not have this like someplace green, someplace yellow. So that needs one of the problems solved. For this field, in all this place is all dark green, and here is yellow. I'm not sure if the fertilizer issue, because this is you cannot miss that much. You didn't forget to spray. You can forget to spray a little bit, but you cannot forget to spray so much place. And also you see the yellow pattern is like a circle. So they maybe have some irrigation or something issue. So it's not necessarily you're spraying missing. But this is definitely kind of yellow. And for this field, this is a plant so early. I don't know if I got this picture from Mrs. Jerry a long time ago. This field have the issue. The plants are not uniform. Some plants are bigger, some plants are smaller. So this you have to consider, find what we missed during the preparation of the soil. Or some spots have the fertilizer or missed it, some spots don't have it. So the best practice when you when the corns, when it's a little size, they should have enough nutrients from your soil. The nutrients, what are the nutrients? Our nutrients is either chemical, conventional fertilizer, NPK, or compost, or green manure, or animal manure. You have to, the corns grow very fast. If they grow very fast, which means they need a lot of nutrients and water. They require a lot of resources. because they're growing very fast, the crop. When you start prepare the field, you have to have a lot of base fertilizer, base nutrients put into the soil before you put the seeds. So this is something problem not from the after germination. It's from the before germination. They may have something soil issue. See, like this one is dark, but it's tiny small. So some spots fertilizer, the base fertilizer miss. Maybe this field is manually. See, I was a corn farmer, and actually also I was a cotton farmer. I was so happy I saw a cotton field in Arizona this week. I haven't seen cotton plants for 50 years. Before I went to college, we had a cotton. Half of my hometown farm is a cotton. So I missed it so much. When I saw the cotton, I was so happy. And it bring me back to my childhood life. So the corn, so this is a base fertilizer, so important. So base fertilizer, it's not NOPF. You don't want to use NOPF as a base. Too expensive. You don't want to put it in the soil as a base of this fertilizer. NOPF is best to apply on the foliage, on the leaf. So this is the most important combination of the conventional fertilizer or as organic fertilizer and NOPF. How do you combine them, make your high yield? So you are not totally replacing the chemical fertilizer. If you are registered as a full organic farm, then you cannot use any chemical fertilizer, even as a base. So your NPK, you cannot put in the soil before planting if you are organic farmer. But if you don't not export, you're not selling your vegetables as labeled as organic, then you should use NPK in the soil if you don't have green manure or if you don't have a lot of compost, a lot of organic as like animal manure. This is why we can get the highest yield. Remember in the past we discussed, we have a graph. All the combination between non-NOPF or to full NOPF or half NOPF combination with half NPK. So all this combination, you can produce, I think you could produce the best economic results with combine NOPF with the conventional fertilizer. So use the conventional fertilizer as a base and use the NOPF as a side dressing or top dressing. So this is the timing how to combine these two. Don't separate each other. When you use NPK in the soil, why we need to put NPK in the soil? We have two reasons. You put N, the nitrogen, because they are water soluble. They will be available for plants when the plants, because in the soil, they are slow releasing. You're covered. If we don't have water, they will stay. They like storage in the soil. So you will put something, nitrogen in the soil, kind of like a little bit release to the plants. So when the plants started, they can use. They don't release that much So plants, when the early stage, they don't need that much either. And the nitrogen eventually all will be water soluble for use for like a month. If we put too much nitrogen, they will be water soluble, or they will be lost when you apply the water, because plants don't need that much in the early stage. So you don't need to put a lot of nitrogen in the soil. And when in the later season, if you put too much, you got lost anyway. That's why you don't put too much, because they are water soluble. They will learning. You are watering or learning. You wash nitrogen from the soil from the top soil, either go to the deeper or running away from your drainage system. You're running with the rainwater, so you lost the nitrogen. That's why you don't put too much nitrogen at the base. But in the later season, when plants need the nitrogen, where are they coming from? That's what we need a top dressing or side dressing. That top dressing or side dressing, we use the NOPF. So this is a timing. But why we put a P and K at base? The phosphate and the potassium, why we put a PK in the base? P and K, a lot of times, they are minerals. They are not really water soluble. They take a long time. If we put it in PK in the soil, it take a long time to be available for plants. So it's the plants, the soil microorganisms, they need to work on these minerals. You can see this different color. If you NPK fertilizer, you will see not only white. White color is nitrogen, and black or pink other color, the potassium and the phosphate. So these are minerals. They are not. They are like a rock. They are not ready to use. So they need to put in the soil a couple of months early. Then you put in the soil, and eventually they will be slowly available for plants. In the later season, plants will need more phosphate and potassium, P and K for flowering, for fruits, for seeds. So this is a very good timing. That's why you need to put NPK in the soil, put a little relatively less N in the soil, but put enough PK for entire season. Then after that, after seed germinate, then we start using the NOPF every other week. If you are short growing season, for the corn, we can use NOPF like here in the autumn until the plants started with this. You see the silk from the corn plants. That time is when you see the silk, it's about less than 3 weeks. You can get a sweet corn. So 4 weeks, it's kind of a close. Put it in there. So back to this picture, he was using the NOPF. Why is still too yellow? And he was asking, can I actually double the dosage? We are seeing, okay, we use 1 ml to a liter. And in this stage, you can double, you can put 2 ml. The plants, these leaves are very strong. If we give a little bit more NOPF, the little bit concentrated liquid solution will not hurt plants. Actually, can boost the plant growth. So it will be more efficient. And do we have leaf damage, leaf burning, if you apply too much NOPF? No. NOPF is 100% natural amino acids and some trace elements. So it doesn't matter how much you put. Even you drop a little, you shouldn't. If we put even 100% concentration, you shouldn't have a leaf burner. But you are not, why you do this? It's lose money. So if we increase from 1 ml to ml to 2 ml per liter, will be no problem. If any leaf damage, leaf burning are not coming from the NOPF, it must be something else. So this is a concentration issue. And we are not going to say we are not only use NOPF. We need to use NPK. And can we just reduce? By using NOPF, you're reducing the NPK. Since if you don't have any side dressing, top dressing of organic amino acids, nutrients, you have to apply more nitrogen in the growing season after you, like a month of the plant's growth, and you have to apply. Otherwise, the plants don't have enough nutrients. And why we have I don't know how to get it there. So next question is, how much nitrogen in our NOPF? What are the components? That is also, we need to compare NPK with NOPF. What are the difference? First, we talk about the NPK and NOPF, the timing, the combination, the way replace each other. Now we're talking about what's the difference chemically. NPK fertilizer just have NPK elements. They don't have any, they just chemicals, so easy, simple elements. For the NOPF, actually, we have, you see, have free amino acids. This is a liter, so it's over 10%. They are amino acids. They are, let me see if I have any. No. So it's all the amino acids. And they have trace elements. The trace elements, NPK conventional fertilizer don't have, they may don't provide. They may have, you don't know, but they're not a guarantee. This chemically synthesized fertilizer, they suppose they are standard. They are, what is the criteria is only needed NPK 3 elements. But we have this NOPF, the totally coming from the fermentation or digestion from the natural plants and animal product. So they are totally organic. All the things are coming from your plants and animal products. So these amino acids will be available for plant use immediately. Why? So the difference is one end NPK is elements. NOPF, that side is the molecules. The molecules are amino acids. And also plants, any animals or plants, any organisms, they need a lot of trace elements. These trace elements actually is necessary for all the metabolisms. They need all the enzyme activities they require. Sometimes they don't need a lot. If we gotta give you too much, they may have something, negative effect. So trace elements, you see the concentration is very low, but we need it. For each NOPF, the concentration for the nitrogen, actually we have a standard. We say how much we need, we should have. But this is our NOPF is a natural procedure produced. It's not a chemically synthesized. So every batch, the concentration is different, but it's enough to meet all the minimum requirements. So you make it higher than normal. So here you can see, if people asking you how much NPK content in the NOPF, we can say less than or about, most time less than 5% of the nitrogen in the NOPF, sometimes less, but it's all different. Every batch is different, but you can say it's about 1 to 5%. So it's you can say this range, and all other elements or trace elements, the concentration is very low. So, but plants, we don't need a lot trace elements. We just need some. Another question: why NOPF is better than NPK? NPK, we only provide the elements plants can use. NOPF, actually plant provide more important functions than the nutrients. Like if we eat any food, I eat this, my biscuits. So how much I got? I got some nutrients for carbohydrate and some salt and some protein, maybe not much in it. So basically that's all. But if I take this, the vitamins, if I take vitamins, they will not only give you the nutrients, not have nutrients, they also have other functions because they are providing. NOPF is basically only elements, but we have other functions. First, we can say we see NOPF first we providing, first part is nutrients only. Yes, because all these amino acids, every amino acids contain nitrogen element. So that's why we call them kind of nitrogen fertilizer, but it is actually more than fertilizer because they have more than nitrogen. They have P and K, have all these elements. This function is similar as the NPK. Second, now this is different. NPK doesn't have. Amino acids are building blocks for the proteins. If you only feed plants with elements, plants have to synthesize from the NPK all these basic elements to produce sugar, produce protein, produce amino acids. But when we are spraying NOPF, we just give them amino acids. The plants don't have to synthesize amino acids that much anymore. So they can use this amino acid directly put into the assembling line to make proteins. So saved a lot. If we say the whole thing is that long, from elements to protein, the plants have to go through all the way from the elements, then in the middle is the amino acids. Then from amino acids and make proteins. This is for the conventional fertilizer. For the NOPF, we just feed them in the middle. We give them amino acids here, so you can just start from here, produce proteins. You save that much. You save a lot of time, a lot of energy. So plants, that's why when you apply NPK into the plants, they take maybe a week or longer if we apply enough water. If we don't give them water, they may never show the results. But if we apply NOPF 2 or 3 days, you will see the results because you are giving them intermediate in the middle of the protein building blocks. So that's the part NPK doesn't have. Another function is actually these amino acids. Number 1 and number 2, we are discuss this NOPF as the food, as the nutrients. But the amino acids actually acting another function as a plant stimulator, like a hormone. Like we eat, some people have the problem, if we get injected something, hormones, will be work very fast. So plants, the NOPF can act as a plant's growth regulator. So can not only give them food, actually give you signal. You need to grow faster. So this is NOPF different from NPK. Another function is they can repair. They can repair plants when the plants get attacked by insects or by diseases. The plants, some leaves have some problem. If some leaf spots here, and the plants, if too many leaf spots, plants will become much weaker. But if we apply NOPF, they can actually repair all the injuries. So it's like a medicine. So one is the growth regulator, plus you have like a medical function. If you got an attack or got an infection by the insects or by the microorganism, they can repair the plants, recover faster. So this is an important factor NPK doesn't have. Another thing is because we are organic, if we keep using NOPF, when you use NOPF, one of the function is you immediately reduce the NPK usage. If you are organic farmer, you are not using NPK anymore. You totally remove the NPK in your soil, in your system. If you are not an organic farmer, you combine conventional fertilizer and okay. When you are not an organic farmer, you actually combine conventional NPK with NOPF, but you significantly reduce the use of NPK because you only use NPK in the soil as a base fertilizer. You are not using them as a top dressing or side dressing anymore. You kind of like cut half. If you combine other stuff like a compost, like an animal manure or green manure. I actually, when I here in the desert area in Arizona, I saw a lot of field. They are planting the green manure. So why they plant green manure? Green manure have several important functions. If some plants, they actually can fix nitrogen from the air into the soil. So soil, you lack of the organic material. When you plant green manure, the soil starting to have organic stuff. The organic stuff in the soil will be provide food for microorganisms. So when the soil is so like a solid cement, and nothing, or sand, whatever, and you see like a white color because no nutrients there. So when you plant green manure, the plants, when some plants like peas, fava beans, some plants, the roots, they have the symbiotic bacteria in the roots. These bacteria can fix nitrogen from air into the soil. We know how much nitrogen in the air. The atmosphere, the air we have above us, they said that they have 70% of air are nitrogen. Plants need nitrogen. We have so much nitrogen in the air, the plants cannot use it because they are above the soil, above the plants. They are not coming to the soil. How do you get them? You can use bacteria in the symbiotic plants. So you can fix the bacteria, nitrogen from air into the soil. The roots, if you take a fava bean plants, you can pull the roots out, you will see the little beads like stuff. So little tiny beads, these are bacteria inside. If you cut them open, you can inoculate into your media. Put in your plates, you put it incubation, you will see the bacteria come out. So if soil don't have the organic material, that's the worst part. So every time, anytime, we need to try to think, how do we maintain or repair the soil or enrich soil, where if you are the owner of the land, you want to improve your soil every year. You are not want to depleting your soil. So you need to add a lot of organic in it. And green manure is one of the way. Another way is add organic materials, or use a lot of. Actually, no, when you use NOPF, basically because you cut use of the NPK, then you eventually organic back up. One of the way to make your soil organic, add your soil organic, is you get all your corn stalks, all the plant material. When you harvest the seeds, you keep them in the soil, in the field. Don't take them away. Put all these plants, dry part. If you can cut them to pieces, then you plow into the soil, then your soil will be start to have more nutrients. Actually, you feed it. A lot of time we don't think the plants, we need a lot of carbohydrates. They need a lot of seeds. We keep saying, okay, we need to give them NPK, the nutrients, the nitrogen. Most time we don't know. We actually most important is not the actual NPK stuff. Most important is the air, carbon, C. Give them a lot of C, the carbon, to the system. Because the carbon put into the soil, the microorganisms can have something to eat. We eat the carbon too. Carbon, what are carbon? Carbon sugars or fibers. People, we can use sugar only. Eventually could produce proteins. Through all these molecular cycles, like poor people, when I was little, we're so poor, we didn't have any meat for maybe a year. Or like we can get a meat a couple of times. We can get a fish a couple of times a year. Meat, we had a pork a couple of times a year, like New Year. Get one or two pieces. So we don't have proteins in the diet, in the food. So why we still have the proteins on my face? It's all we eat the grains, we did the corn, potato, sweet potato, and barley. That's our main food. Of course, they have proteins in these grains too, but a relatively low amount. But if you just eat the sugar, you still can convert sugar into your protein. So when we give all the dead plants, after you take all the corn air out, corn seeds out, the whole corn stalks, you can put it back into the soil. Problem is, how do we, when you put the plants material back to this field, they have several issues. One issue is if you leave them on the top of the soil, they may never decay and become food of the microorganisms. You need to cut them to pieces. The best is that they will cut it less than like several inches. How you cannot? That's hard. Either way is you open the field, make a little bit ditch, put them in. That is when I was little, we do this all the time. We find any plants, any bigger plants, we don't cut them. We just open the soil. Or you don't open the soil, you just put underneath the plants and you cover with the soil. All this plant material, you have to be covered. If you don't cover, they dry, they'll not be available for microorganisms. So you have to cover them. Whatever you cut them to pieces or not, you have to cover them with the soil. Then you add water, they will automatically introduce a lot of microorganisms. And they will start eating them. And they digest all these fibers and then it becomes small molecules. And then you provide the nutrients to plants. And how about sometimes you have the diseases, insects in the field? If you put all these old corn stalks back to the field, you basically save all the bacteria, save all the diseases or insects. So that part, if you know this field, you have this issue, you have diseases, or you have soil-borne diseases. If you have soil-borne diseases, you need to do the rotation. You planted this year, you found something in soil-borne like wilt, some disease, or nematodes. What do? You cannot spread too much pesticides into your soil to kill them. You cannot kill them. There's too many. So in the soil, you cannot get them all. One is you get a new variety of the crops, kind of like a resistance. They don't care this bacteria anymore. So you can have a new variety. Second, it's all like you plant it 1 year and you skip so many years. Don't come back plant the same crops in the same field anymore. Rotation is the best way. Even you don't have diseases, you should rotate anyway. So this year you plant corn, next year you plant cotton. So keep a rotation. If you have soil-borne diseases, you need to know how many years they will die. When they don't have food, how many years they could die. Some diseases can last 7 years. They don't die in the soil for a long time. Then what do? You rotate, you don't come back plant the same crop next 6 years. So this is the way. If you don't have that, if you for only on not soil-borne, then for all the plant insects and diseases on your plant material in the corn stalks or anything else, you can pile them up, make a compost. You take all the plant material, big pile, and you give them. Actually, you need to put something nitrogen in the tube. When the bacteria eat these fibers, they need nutrients. In early time, they don't have enough. They only have carbohydrates. They don't have proteins. They don't have amino acids. So they cannot reproduce that fast enough. So that's why if your compost is not mature enough, if you apply your compost directly to your farm, actually, you think you give them nutrients to the plants. In the early stage, actually, the plants will be weaker. You give them food, why plants going weaker? The corn will become more yellow. Why? Because the compost, when they're not mature enough, they don't have a lot of proteins, but they have a lot of bacteria. And the bacteria, they need nitrogen too, but they are smarter than your plants. They will take all the nitrogen in the compost or in the soil to fulfill their life. They want to make more bacteria. So, and plants actually have less nitrogen can use. So in the early stage, if your compost is not mature, not ripe enough, not totally fermented, you need to give nitrogen. Otherwise, plants will lose nitrogen because you provided the compost. So that's why when you do combine all the plants material in the soil, put it in a bigger corner, pile them up, you need to add some nitrogen in it. Then you cover with mud and give some water too. Cover with the mud, kind of like seal the pile. Then make it inside is very hot. And this temperature, water, nitrogen, and it can speed up the compost process. Then you can use them fast. Sometimes you need to open the pile up. You can mix them again because in the middle, on the side are different. You need to mix them, then seal them again. If we leave it not sealed, they dry fast. Not water will be not keep inside, and the temperature will be not high either. So you need to seal them and make your compost much faster. So this is a kind of like all the comparison between NPK and NOPF. Another question, they said, can the NOPF change the pH of the soil? Yes or no? Yes, why? Because when you spray NOPF on the plants, you are not using too much NPK anymore. You only use 0 or half or less than half you're supposed to use in the past. So this way you are reduce a lot of NPK application in your soil. NPK application in the soil can change your soil pH. After reduce your NPK application, your soil pH will be back to a little bit normal. If you keep doing this every year, the soil pH will will be recovered. It's not a NOPF directly change the pH of the soil because we are not spraying NOPF on the soil. Even you spray on the soil, that's not a drop in the sea. You cannot change it that much either. So what we do is by applying NOPF indirectly correct the soil pH, pulling the soil pH back to 7.5 to 7 or 6.5 to 7 to the point plants can like. Of course, each plant like different pH level. Our blueberry, Greenwood major product is blueberry. Blueberry like very acidic soil. They need 4.5. So actually, the soil pH, a lot of soil pH is not low enough. How do you improve that part? You need to get your soil pH from 6.5 to low to 4.5. You can add some sulfur into the soil, but you don't add chloride and nitrogen chloride into the soil. Chloride is not very good to soil, but sulfur is okay, can reduce your soil pH. Another thing is blueberry like not only acidic soil, they also like sandy soil. If too much is not sandy enough, they don't like that much. So the blueberry very picky. That's why blueberry you cannot plant everywhere. You can plant everywhere, but the yield is not great. If you need a high yield blueberry, you have to have very good soil condition. Good soil type, good soil pH. You cannot, if you don't have it, you have to change it. So soil testing becomes one of the most important issue for blueberry. Another question was, what's the difference between the NOPF and the pesticides? NOPF is a fertilizer, nutrients, medical, repair agent, and a growth regulator. Conventional NPK is the nutrients only. NOPF have more than nutrients, have the building blocks, amino acids, medical function, and growth hormone functions. For the pesticides, they can pesticides have many types. Have insecticides to kill the insects. For the miticides, kill the mites. For the herbicides, kill the weeds. Fungicides to kill the fungi. And antibiotics kill the bacteria. For most plant diseases are fungi, some virus, some bacteria. While human diseases, mostly bacteria and virus. Not too much fungi. We do have fungi disease for human, like fungal, on your nail. Sometimes your skin have fungi infection, but it's not too much. So plants are fungi diseases mostly. Human are bacterial diseases mostly. So many pesticides, these so many groups are NOPF are neither of them. We cannot kill the bacteria. We cannot kill the insects. We cannot kill the mites. So NOPF is totally different from pesticides. But when the plants get attacked by the insects, by the disease, when you spray NOPF, can recover. The plants can recover fast because they can repair the damages. So if you see the insects, you see the diseases, you need to spray pesticides. For the diseases, we can sometime, maybe we can another time, we can talk more about the pest control. Pest control is a very tricky tool. So this is all the questions. Okay, another question he was asking, lime. How do we use lime? What's the function of the lime in the soil system? Lime is, you can change the soil pH. If we add lime, you can bring your soil pH up. If the pH is too low, you can add a lime to bring the soil pH back. And also, sometimes the lime is also the nutrients. The calcium is the nutrients. So next time we can talk about all different nutrients elements for each element. What are their functions? But next time we talk about that. Today, I just try to make it a kind of summarize comparison between NPK, fertilizer, and OPF. How do we combine together? How do we use it in good time fashion? So this is try to make it easy for you when you talk to your clients, talk to your distributors, talk to your farmers, so you kind of see the big picture. So if you have any more questions, we can discuss next time. And I will be here until I have another 4 weeks in the business trip. So I may not be able to do every, but we will schedule to see what's the best timing. If any question, we can, let me see the chat room. If anything, I don't know, I get it there.
Professor, I have taken a screenshot of the 2 questions in the chat box and already sent to you in your
Okay.
WeChat. So
Okay, we can discuss it.
yeah, next time
Yeah.
you can lecture us about these 2 questions. So thank you
Okay.
very much once again. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. Thank you very much once again. Professor, we wish you a pleasant and safe journey in Arizona.
Thank you.
And please
Yeah,
take
see you.
us more photos. So next time, kindly share us about some photos.
Okay.
In NOPF,
Yeah.
can be used in drip irrigation, but it has a leaf foliage 3. Okay, next time, Professor is going to share with us how to use the NOPF in dripping irrigation. So thank you once
Okay.
again. Stay tuned after yes, I think after 2 weeks, please pay attention to notice. So we'll come back for group discussion. So thank you very much. And you can unmute yourself and say thank you and good day to Professor.
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm.
Mm.